welcome back to another episode of Medusa's Kitchen. I'm your host, Chef Greg. We're in tight today because we're doing a beef tenderloin breakdown. I don't know how many of you out there would do this at home, but there are a few people that do big parties, and not only is it more economical, but you know what you're getting. You know, it's kind of like ground beef. If you grind your own, you know what you're grinding. So we're going to get right into this. This is a Creekstone filet. It's fed, grass-fed, no antibiotics, hormone-free. It's what we used at the restaurant. Excuse me. What I do always is at the restaurant, I held the filet over the garbage so I didn't get blood all over everything. And there's this connective silver skin tissue here. We get underneath that and we start the filet by not even using the knife. We use our hand to get that. And this is the chain. This runs along the backbone. The filet sits like this inside the rib cage. So this chain here is part of the muscle next to the backbone and this tenderloin, and then on top of this here is the rib bones, and you got your rib eye. Your rib eye is up here, and your short loin or your New Yorks are here on the other side. So you got a row of bones here, and then you got your New York strip, short loin, and you got your rib eye. So the tenderloin's on the inside of the rib cage. So we get that with our hands. We use the point of the knife to clean this up. You can see here, there's a nice piece of meat about 3-4 inches. We just want to get underneath that there. Again, we use the tip of the knife, and we bring the knife in just like it was a fish fillet. And those scraps, the chain, you can do two things with them. You can either grind them or use them in beef stock or beef bouillon. You know, beef stock is browned bones, vegetables, and water. Beef bouillon is just meat, vegetables, water, peppercorns, bay leaves, parsley stems. And then stock is bones and meat. So you got beef bouillons is just meat, stock is meat and bones, and broth is just bones. So just so we got that all straight. So at the restaurant, we took this little nugget of meat off. You know, we slide the knife under there. That's my dog. He's excited. We've got guests here tonight. For the silver skin, before we get to the silver skin, we want to make sure that we get the meat or the fat off of each where the bones were. So we're just going to slide the knife right underneath there. It kind of, and this is all scraps that we use to brown up and make stock with. Cut any little excess fat. Try not to take any more meat off. And we've got a little bit of silver skin on the bottom. Get it underneath there. Now we're ready to take the silver skin off. And this is a lot like filleting a fish. You get the knife just under the silver skin and you angle it up a little bit and you run it along that silver skin. And then you get your hand underneath there. Okay, and you just notice how there's no meat on that silver skin really? That's because it's almost like skinning or filleting a fish and taking the skin off. You run the knife along the top of that. And you do the same. You want to get all this silver skin because it's very tough. Now, you've got a little bit of silver skin in this little V here. So you grab it. I don't know if you can see that very well. Let me show you this way. You grab this piece and you use the tip of your knife and you just follow that silver skin and you're just like tapping at it. And you get it to there, and then you can slide the knife underneath it and you're pulling the whole time, just like you are when you're skinning it up here. You're pulling it, you're doing the same thing here in this V, and you got it, and you didn't have to split the butt end of the fillet. So now you save this for kebabs. You square off the butt end of the fillet. Now this is at a restaurant. If you're eating it medium rare, you want it from here because you've got this nice loin. It's going to be 3.5 inches thick. But you've got this this butt end of this fillet. So in French restaurants, in some of the restaurants I've been in, we split this and we do tournedos. And we do like 1.5 inches, 2 inches. Or fillets that are cooked medium well. There's nothing wrong with a well done steak. It still can be delicious and juicy, but most of the chefs out there are, uneducated. They call them chefs. They're really not chefs. But, it shouldn't be an insult to have to cook a well done steak. You can still pull it off without turning it into the skin on your kneecap. So this is where you would cut those more well done fillets, because the fillet is going to weigh 8 ounces, but because it's such a wide piece, it'll be very thin. You want to save this nice primal piece here for the thicker fillets, rare, medium rare. So, I like, I did this for years, 8 ounces. I don't know, maybe. I've lost my touch. We'll see. We'll take a look here. I got some people to verify the weight. What's it say?
8.7.
I was off by 1/2 ounce.
Riding a bike.
I'm
8.5.
I'm actually interviewing for a job. I have a good buddy of mine who runs a supper club and a golf course, and they go through a lot of fillets. And I'm looking for a job, so I'm doing a little interview here. So, anyways, that's how you fillet and bone your fillet. Now you got this little nugget here. You don't really want to keep that connected to a steak because this is going to be well done if you're cooking a medium on the other side. So you save this meat for the kebab. So this is your usable scrap. This is the chain and the fat that I took off. This is usable scrap as well. And then we've got the nice, beautiful fillet. And you can see that it's firm. It looks good. You wrap bacon on there. Oh,
It's a 9er.
that's a 9er. I lost the interview.
No.
I want everybody. I always used to cut.
Sandbagger.
I always used to put a lower weight on the menu than I actually cut. So when I put 8 ounce on the menu, I always cut it a 9 ounce fillet because I didn't want it to be light. When we advertised the ribeye and the New York on the board at 14 ounces, I'd cut them at 18. I never wanted to short it. And, there's nothing better than a beautiful. Now, here, what you can do is you cut, your 8 ounces, and you butterfly it, and you've got yourself, and this one you would save for a more well done steak, and now you've got 3/4 of a pound of scrap for kebabs, where you could do a surf and turf kebab for an appetizer, and you get, $22 plus for an appetizer if you're doing it for the restaurant, or you can kebab these up and save these for another dinner. You can individually wrap these and freeze them at this point, or they will last for at least 12 days if you wrap them very tightly and don't let any air get to them, especially if you vacuum seal them. If you have a vacuum sealer, it's great. But out of that, I think it was a 7.25 pound fillet we had, right? We got 8 fillets.
It was over 8 pounds.
And it was $104. So, we're looking at less than $15 a steak. Now, if we would have bought this in a butcher shop already cleaned up and done, you're looking at $25, $28 a pound. So, it's worth knowing how to do this. About the quality of meat, and it's really not that difficult to do. You just take your time, keep your fingers out of the way, and have fun. Thanks for joining me on another episode of Medusa's Kitchen, and I'm your host, Chef Greg. We'll catch you next time.